Hey YouTube, Bob here. I picked up a Wii U Pro Controller a little while ago, and I really like it, so I wanted to do a video about it. It retails for $49.99, which is quite a hefty price tag, so I was waiting for a game to come along that I actually wanted to use it with. And not too long ago, Nintendo updated New Super Mario Bros. U to include compatibility with the Pro Controller. So I've been finishing up the game with that. And I gotta say, I love the controller. It's very similar to the Xbox 360 controller, which is an awesome controller. The build quality of the buttons and the placement of the buttons, very similar to the Wii U gamepad. So for all intents and purposes, minus the touch screen and the motion control, this is a Wii U gamepad, just in a more pro format, so to speak. It even adds the power button, and of course it has the indicator lights to let you know which player that you are. Unlike the classic controller and the classic controller for the Wii before this controller, this is completely cordless. You charge the lithium-ion battery with the use of a mini USB cable with the USB ports on the front of the Wii U console. And yes, Nintendo does include a USB cable in the box, which is awesome. Just like any Wii Remote, you have to sync the controller to your Wii U system. And yeah, I did try syncing this to my regular Wii, and no, it didn't work. So overall, I think this is a hefty controller. It's not heavy, but it feels very well built, especially if you're going to compare it to the classic controllers. I think this is an awesome controller for the Wii U. However, it brings into question something that I brought up before in my Wii U impressions video. And that is Nintendo's insistent decision to not make the ZL and the ZR buttons analog. These are digital, which means it's on or it's off. There's no degree of, pushing it halfway down, all the way down. Even the GameCube had analog triggers. And of course, hardcore systems like the Xbox 360 and the PS3 also have analog R and L buttons. I'll be the first to admit I'm not a hardcore gamer, but if Nintendo's trying to get publishers to publish more of the hardcore games on their system, I really think they just keep shooting themselves in the foot by not including those features that those publishers are going to want. And I realized a little while ago there's a little bit of an irony in the name of these controllers that Nintendo's been putting out. So this is the Wii U Pro Controller, designed for hardcore gamers. And for the most part, with the exception of the lack of analog triggers, it is. I'm going to take you back in time a little bit to the Wii Classic controller, which was released at launch alongside the Wii. And it, for all intents and purposes, most closely resembles a Super NES controller. You have your D-pad, your 4 face buttons, and then your R and your L buttons. But what it adds, 2 analog sticks, and a ZR and a ZL button. And additionally, it has this interesting attachment on the back with this button. I think originally this was going to attach to something, but I never saw anything that took advantage of it. But as its name would suggest, the Classic controller, Nintendo intended this for use with virtual console games. NES, Super NES, N64 games that you bought on their virtual console. So it's kind of a curious decision that they decided to include analog sticks and ZR and ZL buttons, because no classic game used 2 analog sticks or 4 triggers. Another interesting kind of tidbit about this controller is that the L and R buttons are analog. You push them down and they click once you get to the bottom. So there is a range of motion here. These aren't digital. It's not just on and off. So given that this is titled the Classic controller, I find it interesting that it has all these modern features on it. A few years later, enter the Classic Controller Pro, which adds these handles for a lot more of a comfortable feel, larger space between the buttons and the analog sticks for bigger hands, ZR and ZL buttons in more comfortable positions, because I don't know how they expected you to reach the ZR and the ZL buttons on the Classic controller. But as we add the title Pro to this controller, Classic Controller Pro, what do? They get rid of the analog triggers. It doesn't make any sense to me. So like I've said before, I'll be the first to admit I'm not a hardcore gamer, and I am 99% sure I am not going to be affected by this decision that Nintendo doesn't include analog triggers in their Pro controllers. But as a Nintendo fan, I do want to see them succeed. And trying to get hardcore publishers over to their system, I don't understand how these little decisions like this are going to entice them over to the Wii U. But all in all the classic controllers aside, minus the lack of analog control on the triggers, I think the Wii U Pro Pad is an awesome controller. Wait! I'm not done talking about controllers yet. That's my red Wii Remote that came with my Japanese red Wii for the 25th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. And it's pretty standard. Nothing too special about it other than the fact that it's one of the newer Wii Motion Plus versions. This is the controller for my Wii Mini. It's red, just like my original one, but there's something different. Something that I had no idea when I did my original unboxing for the Wii Mini. If you turn it over, what they've done is they've taken the sync button and put it on the outside, and even put a little hole through the rubber cover so that you can get to it. Wait a minute, you can't get to it. How are you supposed to put your finger in there to get... Wow. Nintendo's got you covered. Take a look at this. On the lanyard strap here, there's this little nub with just enough room here. There you go. That's how you sync the new controllers. I had no idea. Had I known that was the case with my Wii Mini unboxing, I would have included it in the video. So gone are the days of, oh, wait, I have to sync my controller. Let me take off the cover. Let's open it up. Let's hit the sync button that's inside, and then put everything back. Nope. Nintendo simplified the process. And I have no idea where in the scheme of things they did that. I'm assuming it's when they started branding the Wii Remotes with Wii U packaging instead of Wii packaging. So, this is news to me. It may not be news to you, but I thought that was a pretty cool update for the Wii Remote. Alright, now we're done.